How do we use this? How did the production department use digital signatures? In turn-in, I just turned in a witness. In the witness level repository, I uploaded the ASCII file that co-reporter sent me and page image ASCII, clicking the Create PDF Transcript button, and it goes through the transcript creation process. At the end of that process, it comes to the screen where it's now showing the converted transcript in PDF format. Now you will see a new button next to the archived repository called Sign this document. Click that button. The cursor will change to a signature pointer. Every time you move this cursor around, the box will move around. Go to a page where you like to place that wet signature along with a digital signature behind it. And you let go the mouse, it's going to turn it into a signature like that. So this image is that JPEG file, which is actually the wet signature. Behind it are stored, which people don't see, but the actual digital certificate. We are also, by creating a bunch of mathematical hash, completely sealing, authenticating the document's integrity, that nobody can make any kind of changes to this document. That's it. 2 clicks. Click the button, sign this document, find the place, and let it go. That's how you digitally sign it. Once you digitally signed it, click the Archive to Repository button. Last thing you're going to do is send a notification to all the parties that are involved. What about individual reporters who do not work for agencies? Well, they don't need a service like ours. If they have a VeriSign ID already, an Acrobat Reader version 8 or later, they can sign any PDF document themselves. They just simply open up the PDF, sign this document, and then boom, that's it, done. Since most CAD software nowadays can generate PDF within their CAD software, they can just simply do it using Adobe Acrobat Reader. The second question is, I don't believe my state board will approve of your digital signature proxy idea. The argument was that reporters are not clicking that button, so that might be illegal. What then? You know what? That's a sticking point because nobody really knows at this point what's legal, what's not. I showed you earlier all those laws governing electronic signatures and digital signatures. So there are laws behind it. The fact that this production person is clicking the button and getting the information stored by the third party, is that legal or not, acceptable or not? We don't really know. That just has to be hashed out in the future. We just provide a practical solution. Let's say you're in Texas and Texas says that co-reporting agency no longer can use that fax signature page, cannot sign for co-reporters, they cannot use reporters' ID and password to log into some third site. They cannot do any of this stuff. Reporter has to do it. Well, as a production person, since you cannot sign digitally yourself, you email this PDF to the reporter. Now you're at the mercy of the reporter signing digitally using her Adobe Reader and sending it back to you. I know some co-reporting firms are doing that. That might be the only solution if you cannot click that button yourself. So how do my clients, law firms and courts, how do they use this? When they open this digitally signed PDF using Acrobat Reader, there will be a tab called Signatures on the left-hand side. If they click on it, it'll tell them who signed it. Right now, it shows signed by Young Lee, but the signature validity is unknown because if attorney or paralegal open this document on her local computer, she knows the document is authentic because nobody changed any contents of the document. But whether this is Young Lee is a valid person or not, they don't know. So that's how it'll come up. If they care, if they really wanted to validate Young Lee is the valid person, then this is what they need to do. They need to set up what's called trust. When they look at the signed page, the icon will look something like this with a question mark next to person. Young Lee, we don't know who that guy is. Not validated yet. RB8 will add an extra link in the bookmarks called Validate Signer. They click on it. It comes to our page with the instruction telling your clients how to validate signer. And they hit that button at the bottom called Validate Signer. and it goes through 3-4 screens where we'll download signature information from RB.com onto their computer, and they'll set contact trust. They're importing information onto their computer and say, okay, I'm going to trust this person from now on. And then they click that box, signature as a trusted root, and import is done. Once the import is done, from that point on, anytime that reporter sends that client a transcript, it'll come up as a valid document and valid signer. I don't think most people really care about signer. If I'm receiving a transcript, my main concern really will be the transcript has not been altered. If they care about who the reporter was and authenticate that reporter actually digitally signed it, and they can go through that step process. So let's say I'm in a turn-in, 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, Lee versus Merck. I'm going to go to turn in this job. I go to witness, new. John Sick, MD was the witness, and it was 125 pages long. The rest of it doesn't really matter. Save, and it gives me the repository tab. And I say I got an ASCII file the reporter sent me. This was the file, so I open that. And I'm not going to publish this ASCII because I might have to fix this ASCII up. So I'm going to say this was the image that reporter sent me. I'm saved that. So this is how I got an ASCII up there. So let's create PDF transcript. And our global settings come up. There's an extra tab now, digital signature. Click on it. There's a box. If you check it, that's how it's going to add that bookmark, validate signer. You don't want it? You don't want to confuse the attorneys? Then you uncheck that box. If you provide a way for them to validate the signer through RB.com, you'll check that. We have an ASCII viewer where I can verify the information and also change. Since my first 3 pages are single-spaced, I'm not going to condense. So I said skip the first 3 pages, save and close. This will convert this into a PDF transcript. Now we have my full page transcript, a word index, word list. There's my condensed, which my first 3 pages are full size and the rest of it is condensed. At this point, you go sign this document. So this is the new button I was talking about. Click on that, and that's the signature cursor. I'm at the wrong page because I have a word index and word list. So let me go back a few pages here. I found my signature line, and I'm going to click to let it go. Now this is where it made a connection to reporterbase.com, and RB8 knew the reporter was. It went and found digital certificate information about the reporter from the reporterbase.com. It brought it down and it digitally signed it. That's with wet signature I uploaded as a reporter. So that's it. And then you archive to repository and save. So I'm done. If the attorneys get it, let's look at that. First of all, there is that signature tab I was talking about. When you click on it, it says signed by Young Lee, validity is unknown. And there's that bookmark. They'll simply click on it to validate signer. If they do not validate, that's how the icon will pop up saying that this document is authenticated, signer is not authenticated. That's it. There are manuals that we have written for agency and also reporters. Even though on RB.com we have complete instructions, you might still need to download those 2 PDF documents. So if you go to our regular site, omti.com, and go to reporter base section, there will be 2 PDF manuals for digital signatures.